A quick note before we get into the episode. Oversharing is a podcast for entertainment purposes only. It is not a medical podcast and does not constitute medical or psychological advice. Always seek the advice of your physician or mental health professional. Hello and welcome back to the Oversharing podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Dr. Naomi Bernstein.
So nice to be back with you on this Monday morning. I'm excited. You're going to be coming in. We're going to hang out. It's going to be a fun few days. Going to take the girls and boy, I'm not trying to say girls because like Brooks is in there too.
Yeah,
take the
he's
kids.
in there.
Yeah, I'm going to take the kids. I'm going to take the kids to the movies. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's fun that they're like old enough to do stuff that I want to do, which is really like the prime age for anting for me.
It's true. Sometimes
when I don't have to do anything I don't want to do.
Yes. You get like a little, I get nostalgic sometimes, or I'll talk to other people that get so nostalgic for like the cutie little toddler years and newborn. And I'm like, but kids are really fun once they're old enough to like do the same things you want to do and have conversations that you want to have. And
right.
So
that seems to be like the more, I guess like it's a trade-off. They're not as cute. I mean, they're still cute, but they're not as cute as like a little, as like a 2-year-old.
Yes.
Where they're not saying probably as like
adorable
little things or, but they're like more like almost, especially as an aunt, they're like more of like a friend.
Totally. Although they're so funny. I'll just share this. I just thought it was so funny. For those of you, there's a movie called Soul. It's a Disney movie and it's just a really great movie. It's like existential, but it's a Disney movie. So it's cool, as most of them are. And there's a scene in the movie where they talk about people that are like in the trance of their life, like fixated on a lot of the stuff we talk about, like they're fixated on their weight, or they're fixated on like their job, or they're fixated on being a perfect parent. And in the movie, they call them lost souls. So they like wander around like they're big, like loafy, kind of just like blobs of gray, and they're lost souls. So, I was out for a walk with the girls and Lila was like all in her head about something that was going on at school or like this thing. And she kind of got moody and like, we were kind of jogging and she like, ran off ahead of me and Maddie, who were walking behind, and, just like obsessing about whatever earthly thing she was obsessing about. And Maddie goes to me, "She's a lost soul." And I was like, "Aw." It was just like, it's so, it was.
She's
just
13. Like, I feel like that's like prime lost soul age, right?
Yes, totally.
Not a girl, not yet a woman, kind of, as Brittany would say.
Yes. Just like everything feels like controllable if you do the right thing or you don't. What should I do to make this better or worse, or like how? Just like angsty.
And you have no experience in anything. So it's like.
To like trust it'll turn out okay.
Yeah. No, totally. Tough age, but
But I bring it up because it's like those moments where if it was just me, like walking, like when Maddie turned to me and she was like, "She's a lost soul." First of all, I just started laughing so hard. Like, and then I was like, it helped me kind of detach from the moment a little bit instead of being like, how do I help her? And what should I say? And she's so angry. And should I go like kind of go after her, or should I let her cool off? And she just like put the perspective in it there in that moment of like, she's just in her, like, step back and see what's happening here. Like big picture. She's just like you said, 13-year-old kind of lost soul. In this moment, she was lost and she found her way back. But
you guys should watch that movie, 8th Grade. I feel like that was a great depiction of, it's like a good, I enjoyed it as an adult. It's like about an 8th grade girl. It's kind of like just figuring shit out, like with her family and her friends. And it's like a pretty good movie, I thought.
I'm going to check it out. It's a hard age. You feel like you have to solidify this identity and you have no control really over your life. Like at any moment, someone could just like snatch your phone, like your lifeline to all the, or like tell you can't go somewhere, can't do something. And everything
probably feels very, very important.
Yes. So anyway, there's all that, but like those moments of like, you're in this with me in a real way because you're a real human. Like with Maddie kind of looking at me and seeing that like I was like just us being able to connect on like what was happening in that moment felt like really nice. So yeah, older kids are great too.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
That's the nice part about having kids who are also like more than one kid and a kid who's like close in age to another kid is that, you know, like if Lila was your only kid, this might just be like the occupying your thoughts all day and all night. And like, also just like no one to compare it to, no one to have any like perspective on. And I feel like that probably helps take the edge off a little. It's like, you know, there's more going on.
Yes. And there is, like, we've talked about this dynamic before, and I don't know, I think this does often, not always happen with sibling dynamics, is like, you can't have both people being too much of the same thing at the same time. Like they almost realize like if one of them's in a mood, the other one will like kind of back off a little bit and take the helper role versus all three of them or two of them like doubling down because they know like it's going to, you know, it's going to unbalance the entire equilibrium of the household. Like even, you know, in a workplace, there's usually one person that's a little bit more like intense and one person that's a little bit more laid back. I mean, you don't get to choose that necessarily, but I think these dynamics, human dynamics, tend to want to find a little bit of an equilibrium. So that helps too.
Totally. I think sometimes when someone cares, and that's almost like that's true of anything, like in a relationship, like you said, at work, I've experienced that with like as co-founding a business with my friends / business partners. It's like when someone is really intense or cares a lot about like a certain thing, my instinct is to be like, all right, the caring tank is full and I can like back off of that. But I remember when Aileen, who's one of my co-founders, like went on maternity leave, and she's like maybe like was a little more intense about certain things. When she was gone, I found myself like more anxious or more caring about like certain things that I used to kind of be hands off of because she would kind of like take that role. And so I do think there is like this idea of someone needs to fill the spot of like all these different roles in anxiety or hypervigilance and stuff like that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting to step back behind it and kind of watch it all. That to me, that's the key to get through most of this, is to kind of step back and watch it like from a distance. When you're too in it and you're too close, that's when it feels like every little decision matters and every single choice is a big deal, versus like, this is just a moment in time that at some point is going to be a memory or history or probably irrelevant. So it's nice to have someone else helping with that perspective. So I appreciated that.
Agreed. That's great. All right, let's get into our episode and help other people fix their hyperfixations.
Yeah, love it.
So we're here for you for that. And if you guys have a voicemail that you want to leave, you can leave us a voicemail at 646-363-6294. Love getting those voicemails. Again, keep it to under 3 minutes so that it'll actually go through. Because if it's over 3, it goes to like a totally different area that I don't check.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah. And I think also just like 3 minutes is a good enough time to, if your problem is more than 3 minutes, you might need a professional one-on-one session with someone. And
some people just need to like talk it out though a little, like they might not get to the point fast enough, but I hear you. You're the one that's listening. So 3 minutes
more like
is.
For the user, I totally understand that it takes more than 3 minutes to express many issues, but for the sake of, you know, production quality of the show,
yes,
I think that's kind of where we're at. But a great solution to you if you have a problem that's over 3 minutes is to join one of Dr. Naomi's therapy groups, because I assume you get more airtime there. And many people able to weigh in. So how do they do that?
Totally, for sure. And also I will put it out there that I do have a couple of openings for individual therapy. I know a lot of people were reaching out for that, and I have typically been full. But if that's something that you are looking for, you can reach out regarding that as well. But the therapy groups are always ongoing and almost always have some room depending on your flexibility schedule wise. But either way, come find me at naomibernstein.com. And yeah, we'll find out what the best place is for you to help with your issues. I've said it a million times. These groups are amazing. It's my favorite time of the week. The people that are in these groups are just so supportive and insightful. And like, sometimes I'm like, what am I even doing here? These people are like awesome and just really create such a loving environment. So I love it. Come be a part of it. naomibernstein.com.
Love it. And you can also subscribe to this podcast if you want, somewhere in between that and just listening to this episode. Subscribe so you can subscribe. You get 2 bonus episodes a month. You get all the episodes ad-free and a day early. And we have some fun over on our subscription episodes. So you can check it out there. Also, we're on YouTube. We're on Spotify video. So if you prefer to watch, then listen. You can see us there. So check it out. And let's get into our episode. Hi, Jordana and Dr. Naomi. First of all, I want to say that I love your show and I've been a listener since episode 1. I'm writing in about something I never thought I would be able to relate to, but somehow is now at the forefront of my mind. Internet hater trolls. Is that redundant? I don't know. Maybe. My wedding videographer recently posted a video of our wedding that has unexpectedly gone a bit viral. It's the few comments that are getting to me, some of which seem overly judgmental and mean. You can watch the video and see for yourself, and we'll post the video on the Everything's Fine Instagram account for those who would like to see it. Or, we'll also put it in the episode description because I think it helps with the context.
Yes,
we'll describe it also. So you can watch the video, see for yourself. But a lot of people are commenting things about having a kid-free wedding and how this is embarrassing and inappropriate, and how they would hate something like this happening at their wedding. So, for context, you watch the video, right? So yes. In the video, it's basically like it's a couple, they're getting married, and one of the bridesmaid's daughter is kind of like running around while they're doing the vows. And it's like kind of funny and cute.
Throwing her flower girl basket across the way. And then someone, it's like a little bit of kid chaos.
Yes. She's basically like interrupting the ceremony a little, and everyone's kind of like waiting for it to die down, but it's funny and cute.
They're all laughing. The bride and groom are laughing. Most of the bridal party's laughing. It does look like kind of a cute, joyous moment. And
the bridesmaid is like, mortified and like running after the kid.
There's one that you could tell is the mom. That's the only one that's stressed out, ironically, right? In the whole thing. Like the only person that doesn't seem to be like laughing and lighthearted is the one whose kid it actually probably is.
Right. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of people are commenting things about having a kid-free wedding and how this is embarrassing and inappropriate and how they would hate something like this happening at their wedding. Although there have been so many nice comments which share my same sentiment that the moment was funny and joyful, I can't get these negative ones out of my mind. Like, what happened to just scrolling past things that you don't like? Why do people feel the need to comment just to say that they wouldn't like this, or the worst one I've seen which digs at my friend's parenting? What the fuck? I also feel like it's just marring a really amazing day. This was literally about a minute out of an entire day, which I think went absolutely perfectly. I even thought that this part was perfect. I thought it was just funny and lighthearted, and honestly, I laughed about it during and afterward. I guess I just wasn't expecting so much negativity. I wasn't expecting it to affect me this much. It's gotten to the point where I'm considering taking my name off the video because I just don't want to read the negativity anymore. Am I being overdramatic? Any words of advice?
Yeah. I think you came to the right place. I will say that for myself. I don't know what your reaction is going to be, but I think you came to the right place because I think this is exactly that, like a beautiful moment in time of real life where you're getting married, but you're not getting married in a bubble of perfection, which is what most people try to do. They create like this perfect bubble that they can get married in, and they got married in, at least in that little moment, not a perfect bubble. And I think the way that they handled it was so cute, and they didn't let it, at least from what it looks like, they didn't let it ruin their time. And the people that are critical or mean about it, like I almost would just think like, I feel kind of bad for you that everything in your life would have to be perfect, or everything in your wedding has to be perfect in order for you to feel like it's a worthwhile day, or that this didn't mess up the whole thing, or blaming the mom. I didn't read all the comments. I didn't see that one in particular. I read a few, but like blaming the mom for her parenting or things like this that are just like, it seems like kind of the intro that we talked about, like those are lost souls. The lost souls are the ones that are like so hyper fixated on like the details of life that you can't step back and see the big picture of like, I thought it was adorable, which is, I think, probably just to ease your mind, why it went viral. It went viral because it's sweet and endearing, and not because everyone's like, oh my God, this is the worst nightmare of a wedding that I could ever experience. And sharing it as such, like, here's the thing I would never want to ever happen at my wedding. I don't think that's why most people are sharing and liking this video. It's funny, it's sweet, and it's a good lesson for life, I think.
Yeah. And I can understand why she's like kind of been thrown a loop here of like had this experience. Cause I mean, I've been living on the internet sort of publicly for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, something like that. So I am used to seeing, a million negative comments on, we post videos from this podcast. There's probably like 30 different ways to see people comment on all the content I make. There's the Instagram reel comments, there's the YouTube comments, there's the Spotify comments, there's Reddit, there's YouTube.
Yeah,
there's just like so many ways that you can read both negative and positive feedback about myself, that I think you've come to the right place in terms of someone who's like a seasoned person at this. But I could also understand if I lived like a private life where I didn't share anything or I never saw anything, I think it would be jarring too. It is jarring in the beginning where you're like, because people don't really think of you as a person who can read these things when you're sort of like a public, not that she's a public figure, but when you're seeing a video of someone on the internet that's public, you're not thinking about them reading your comment.
As a real person.
Yes. So the cool thing about that is like you do get the things people would say behind your back, both good and bad.
Yes.
Which is both flattering and really upsetting a lot of the time.
So interesting side note, just not to cut you off, hold your train of thought, but I noticed that when people comment, like even I was sharing in the subscription episode about reading the comments that people were saying about something that I had shared. And I noticed that the comments that are nice are like they're talking to me or they're talking to the person. And the comments that are mean, they're like talking about the person. So like the comments that are mean are like she blah, blah, blah. And the comments that are nice are like you had a beautiful wedding. That it's more like you can lean into the person when you're saying something nice, but when you're kind of talking crap, it's like you're third person.
Right. You want to distance because they're not a person.
Right.
They're just, they're like they're content. They're the Real Housewives. They're, and you know what I mean? I get it. I talk shit about like celebrities in the real. I have podcasts where I talk about that. So like I'm involved in the other side. Do you know what I mean? And I think that the one thing that I've learned in all these years of doing it is like, don't believe anyone either way.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like if you allow your self-esteem or your worth or your feeling to be like, and it's tempting to do that on the positive. It's tempting to be like, everyone loves this. Yes. I'm amazing. Whatever positive role model, or I look great in this video, or whatever, do you know what I mean? Like if you put too much weight, and it's good to practice with the positive because it's less like upsetting. Yes. If you put too much weight, positive or negative, like you lose your internal sense of what is real and who you are and knowing your thing. Because it's so easy to judge. And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with judging people on the internet. I do it for a living.
Right.
I do it every day. And I don't think if I thought those people were listening or watching or paying attention, I probably would be like nicer too.
Yes.
But I think that, and again, this isn't like something she signed up for in a sense. Like this is just her wedding. Her videographer put it up. I'm sure she didn't like, she's not like joining a reality show.
Yes.
In her sense, like I do feel worse for her than I do for me.
Right.
Someone who like does this knowingly, makes money off of this, and you know what I mean? Can dish it, so I should be able to take it. But I do think a good lesson here is like, we were not really meant as humans to get this much feedback about ourselves constantly. And that goes not even for someone in a viral video, but just like anyone who's like on the internet counting their likes or counting their comments. It's like, we weren't really, I don't think this was like how our humans are wired to receive feedback. And it can become part of your identity, like what people are saying about you.
Yes.
And to live your life that way is really a disservice to yourself, to rely on the positive or the negative feedback.
Yes.
Because those people don't really know you. They know what you share. For this person, they know like the tiniest sliver of her wedding, the 1 minute of her wedding, which was like probably 5 hours.
Yeah.
Or if it comes to me, they know, 1 45-second clip that was posted out of context of a conversation.
Yep.
And so like, it's kind of like, why would you let the opinion of someone who only took 1 minute of your life and judged your entire being, like it's just factually like incorrect. Like they just don't have all your information. So don't listen to them in either way. Don't listen to them when they say you're a gorgeous, amazing model who's, who can say, no, you're my queen. I'm obsessed with you. But also don't listen to them when they're like, you're a mean bitch who says like, how could you say anything negative about Meghan Markle? Like, like whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think the key is, and this is kind of in that book that you gave me when I was in high school. I remember reading this book. I think it was like the 4 Agreements.
Yes.
And one of the 4 agreements was like, don't believe anyone. Like, don't
take anything personally. Like, it's not
the
really
positive
about you.
or the negative, because like only you know yourself.
Yep. Totally. But I do think you're 100% right. We are wired to be so activated by just those things. We're wired to be so activated by the positive affirmation because it means like, okay, I'm safe. I'm liked, like I'm in the in group. And so activated by the negative of like, what if I'm ostracized? What if I'm left out? What if I get a bad reputation and nobody wants to be around me? That you just have to kind of notice it happening, take that breath, calm your body, and realize this is just my human biological wiring to get really wrapped up in this thing. And I can make the choice to step back and do exactly what you're saying. But the first step is recognizing how activated you're getting. And I love what you said. Either way, like, I get this like excited, heartful, like give me more feeling when you get something good. And then you get this like tight, twisted kind of, almost still give me more. I need more to soothe this. I need to consume more to either keep this going or to make this go away, one or the other. So just being mindful of that, I think is really the key to stepping away from it.
Right. And I think to choose the opinions that you listen to mindfully. So it's like, for me, who do I care what they think about? I don't care I don't not care what anyone thinks about me, but who do I really care what thinks about me? I care what my friends and my close personal friends and family that know me on a deeper level think about me, not like the world who knows a part of me, like someone who knows like a 360 whole version of me. And again, you shouldn't overly care what those people think either. Like it should eventually come back to like who yourself is. But if I'm weighting things, it's like stranger on the internet who saw a 30-second clip of me. Someone who I care more if someone regularly listens and subscribes to my podcast. They know me on a deeper level than someone I've come across that came across a video on the internet. And then there's like my close friends who I respect and who I know also. And so I think just like be mindful of whose opinion you're consuming.
Yes. And like you said, the person that knows you 365 days a year, 24/7 is you. You know your own thoughts. You know your own intentions. You know if you're a good person or a kind-hearted person, or, you know how you felt in that moment. You had a better idea. Like, people so often, like, you are the only one that really knows you because you know your thoughts and feelings. So, but that's the one that we often don't even give the least credence to.
Right. We don't care about our own approval. We care about the approval.
And we have 100% of the information. And even your husband, even your wife, even your closest person in your life has about 2% of the information of like what you're thinking and feeling all day, what you're dreaming about at night, you're the only one that knows it all. So your opinion should be way above everybody else if you're introspective and you're honest and you're willing to do the work of seeing yourself. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was super. I think most people did. I thought it was really like a cute video of life. It's real life. We can't sanitize every experience that we have before.
It's adorable.
Put it out there.
I think like anyone who's really worked up about this is like kind of miserable in their own life. Or enough to like comment on this. I do agree. I would love to get into the psychology of an internet like commenter, like troll commenter who
come
just
on. If you are well, we won't call you a troll because then you won't come. But if you are a frequent commenter, come give us your side. What are you feeling? What's going on for you when you're, making a negative comment? And even like you said, you talk crap about like the housewives and whatever. And like, maybe there is a feeling of like, okay, if you're putting this out there, it's, you're feeding yourself to the dogs.
Well, it's like you're deal with the devil a little bit, like there's many positives that come out with that. I think I have a really great, really fun job. And I think I'm mentally able to handle it. Some people are not. And it takes a lot of, it doesn't happen immediately. I do think you need to that's something you need to practice is
desensitize yourself.
Right. Desensitize like the way your perspective on the people who have perspectives on you. And again, Taylor Swift should look at me and say she doesn't really know me. Anything she says about me that's negative, she doesn't know, she should say that about me. Yes. I'm just stating my opinion, which could be totally wrong. So
yeah. And I would love to talk more about it, but I guess if we're thinking about it now, it probably is this idea, and not for this listener, because she's not making any money. This is just like a random little video that's probably
right. Which is why she doesn't deserve this. She's not getting paid.
Right. Yeah. So I think maybe for some people, there is a feeling of like, if you are making money on this, and a lot of people would love to be an influencer or just kind of, it's a pretty easy job. You document your life, you post it on the internet. Maybe 75% of it is positive. That's the negative of living off of content, is that maybe that's the feeling that people have when they're making a negative post. Maybe there's a little jealousy.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a little you get paid by just putting your life out there. And so I'm just going to make you pay taxes a little bit here by slapping you with a, shaming you in some way. But I imagine there's got to be something to that of this is too easy. So I'm going to have to take you down a notch.
Right. And maybe for this video, people just don't think about the fact that she's reading the comments.
Yes.
Because she's not a celebrity. She's not an influencer. So I think for those kinds of things.
Not even thinking we have so much content. It all just keeps coming that you can't personalize all of it, really.
Right.
Like you said, our brains are not meant to be thinking about so many different other human experiences at one time. We're supposed to be in front of someone. And then I think about your human experience and my human experience in this moment. But if you think of how many humans you're interacting with whenever you're scrolling through your Instagram feed per minute, It's like a lot.
Totally. And I think one more thing to leave you with is that there's almost no video or content that everyone is going to love.
Yeah.
So if the videographer showed the perfect wedding, someone would not think it was perfect.
Yes.
Like there's just no way.
Or they'd be like, you're so privileged that you were able to have this, type of right.
Exactly. Like the kids at wedding things also is like from hosting Betch's brides, like people who have an opinion on that so strongly in both ways. Like there's just if you live your life trying to make absolutely no one, especially on the internet, dislike you or have anything negative to say, you're going to be living your life completely for other people because there's no universally agreed upon anything.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for writing in. This was a great question. It was a super cute video. Check it out.
All right. Let's get into our next Betchicist. You got this one?
Okay. I will read this. Hi, Dr. Naomi and Jordana. Huge fan and subscriber to both this and You Up podcast. I have a Betchicist that is just between me, myself, and I. In the last couple of years, I've become a huge thrifter. I love the thrill of the hunt, and there's nothing like finding a hidden gem or designer piece while digging through the racks. I mostly keep stuff for myself or for family, but will occasionally resell an item online, like on Poshmark, to make a little money. I was recently at my favorite thrift store, which I usually hit up about once a week or so. It's become a habit to check pockets of bags and purses to see if they're clean, and sometimes you might find some bonus change or something. Although most places have staff check for that before putting items out. A few weeks ago, I unzipped an interior pocket of a small bag and there was some folded up cash inside. I took it out and must have had a look of disbelief on my face because another shopper passed by and shared in my excitement. I've come to find there's a camaraderie among thrifters, especially people you see regularly. I peeled off a couple of bills from the stack and gave them to her just to spread the good fortune. In the moment, I considered it finders keepers and couldn't believe my good luck, and I just kept on shopping. I spent about $80 and used the cash I'd found to pay. I never counted it, but I'd say it was probably about $140 total. However, it's been nagging me ever since that I did something wrong. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have left the cash in the bag, but should I have turned it into the store? Maybe offered it to the floor staff who were always so friendly and worked so hard. In hindsight, even though I didn't want it, I'm wishing I had just bought the purse itself. It was $4. Because in that case, the purse and its contents would be mine, and I could alleviate the guilt I'm feeling. So I'm a little afraid to ask, but would love to know. What do you think? Signed, thrifty or shifty?
This is a good one.
Yeah.
I feel like I would feel similarly to her of like unsure if this was like okay or not. I don't think it's so clearly okay or not okay in either direction. I was like, the answer doesn't seem obvious to me. I would feel similarly to her. I almost feel like unless you can return the money to the person who originally thrifted the bag, the money belongs to no one and equally belongs to you as anyone else in the world or the store, unless you can get it back to like the person who forgot it was in the bag and sold the bag, which seems like a tough, I don't know how tracked these bags are. If someone who owned a thrift store found that, could they contact the person and give it back to them? I think if that's a possibility, then you should give it back to the original bag owner.
Right.
But I don't know what the steps are to get your bag into like one of these stores. So if that's like kind of like a long shot or would take far too much effort or just like wouldn't make any sense, then I think it's hers.
Yeah. The other, and I agree with you. I think the perfectly right thing to do would be to see if you could track it back to the person who it belonged to. And I agree. It doesn't sound like that's possible. I think the other thing for us to talk about and for her to think about is like when you're in that moment, it's very hard to sit, you're in a store, this other woman's like running over, like, ooh, what'd you find? Sounds like maybe there is a culture of kind of like part of thrifting is like maybe you find something cool in a pocket of a jacket.
Secret treasure.
I almost, like she said, I don't think she's checking inside the pockets to see if they're clean. I think she's maybe, I don't know, I'm not a thrifter, but I could see maybe part of it is like walking along the beach with a metal detector. It's like, I wonder what I'm going to find that's like a lucky find.
Yeah.
So I think there's part of that. But the other piece is like, in the moment, you might have made a quick decision, right? Because there's also probably this almost like an excited, panicky activation of like, oh my God, it's $140. Am I going to keep it? This woman's here. She's like looking at me. She's saying, oh, congrats. I give it to her. That probably was like a fun little exchange of like, my point being, I think you can step back now that you're thinking about it and reevaluate. And whatever decision you made in that moment doesn't need to be, you don't need to hold your moral compass because you made that decision in that moment. You're thinking about it now, you're reevaluating it now, and you can still change your decision in some respects, where if you want to call the thrift store and say, hey, I was in a couple weeks ago, I found this money in this purse. Is there any way that you can track this back to the owner? And the answer is probably going to be no. And then if it's no, then you can feel better that you like tried the best you could to find the owner. Or maybe the next time you go in there, you can leave them a big tip, or you could leave a big tip somewhere else. So you could just pay it forward, like do the coffee line thing where you pay for someone's coffee and kind of like a,
right. Give a little charity, whatever it is. Yeah.
I think you can still do whatever you want to do if you're feeling a little bit badly about it, to kind of pay it forward. Like, I just found this thing and now I'm going to kind of use that to help someone else or just put a smile on someone else's face. I don't think you have to, but the good news is you're thinking about this, you're writing in about it. So you obviously have a good moral code because you care. And I think sometimes we judge ourselves by like the decision that we make in a moment where it's like a pressured, versus being able to be like, okay, I don't need to judge myself because of my first gut reaction, which was to pocket it. If that's not what you want to do, you can still choose differently.
Right. Yeah. And I think those situations are tough when it's like, it would require so much more work to like figure out how to like undo it than to just keep it and like do something like
or just simply, like I said, like, I don't know, you walk down the street, give a homeless guy money when you wouldn't normally do that, or just, pay it forward in some way, which is easy. You can find a million ways to just do that.
Yeah. I think if like she was buying the bag off of like Facebook Marketplace from a woman that she knew, and then she opened the bag and some woman had left $140 in it, then like it's pretty clear you should contact the person and tell them that.
Yes.
But in this case, it's like there's so many different layers away from that the person, if the person's not going to get it back. I once had a few years ago, I ordered like Bala weights. Do you know those, like Bala bands? They're like weighted. They're like things you put around your wrist for working out.
Okay.
I ordered one from Anthropology, and they sent me a box with like 20 of them in them. Oh. Like, I think they accidentally sent me like the full amount of storage, whatever thing. Or like, you know what I mean? Like the amount that was supposed to go to a whole store, probably like 20 of them.
Right.
And so I was like, I called, I mean, first of all, I don't need 20.
Right. What are you going to do with 20? Right.
But I called them and they were like, oh, okay. Like, we'll send you like a label and you can ship it back. I'm like, all right, great. Now I have like more work to do to do this nice thing.
Yeah.
And then they never sent me a label. And so then I was like, all right, I'm not going to like spend hours of my day trying to fix their...
Totally.
It's also a corporation, so it feels a little different. So I just like gave them away to all my friends.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm like, but I still sometimes think about that. I'm like, should I have like figured out how to get it back to Anthropology corporate? But I'm like,
love that. That's so, I think you did the right thing. It's really funny because it is this lingering. So, I gave you for your birthday that framed photo of like Ron and the kids. So I had originally ordered it and I accidentally shipped it to my house instead of your house. And if I got it to my house and then had to like reship it to your house, I would have missed your birthday. So, and I realized it.
And it sounds like a pain in the ass. Yeah.
Yes. 2 seconds after I ordered it, I realized it. I emailed them immediately. I like tried to get in touch. It was like literally after I clicked submit. Long story short, they sent it to my house and then they sent another one. And then eventually they got back to me, which was like 2 or 3 days later. I think it probably did end up being a little late, and sent one to your house. And so then I still had the one that was sent to my house. So I contacted them and I was like, how am I going to get this back to you? Same kind of thing. They were like, okay, we'll send you something, or like, whatever it was. And they never ended up sending it. So now I just kept it. I put it up on the mantle. So now
we have matching ones.
We have matching ones. But every time I look at it, I'm kind of like, are they going to come looking for this? Like, are they going to come to my house and like take this picture back that now I've like, it's kind of like now a part of the room. So could I have
they
called
had their
them?
chance. Yeah.
Right. I could have called them a bunch of more times and been like, hey, you said you were going to send something. Like, do you want this back?
No, but corporations, you get one chance.
Yes.
I think, and that's even nice. A lot of people would just be like, I'm paying you for a product and like, you're a business. Like, you messed up. I'm not going to even, but I think one attempt is nice and like ethical. And if they're not like doing everything in their power to get whatever back, then it's yours.
Yeah. So I don't think you did anything wrong. I think the fact that you're thinking about it is, nice. And if you are feeling guilty, then pay it forward in some way. If it's nagging you, that's a good way to get that nagging feeling to go away. Or maybe you want to thrift something and leave some money in the pocket. Someone will find it.
That's fun. Maybe she's like, I'll leave a 20 in there and I'll have
I kind of agree.
But it's almost like that. I think of that sometimes with like there's like a Curb episode about the unwritten laws of dry cleaning, where it's like occasionally you get something extra, occasionally you like lose something, you never get it back. I do kind of think about that with a lot of stuff. It's like sometimes you win out, you get an extra thing, you get an extra framed picture, whatever it is, and sometimes like it gets lost in the mail and the company refuses to refund you. And like, in the end, it does generally feel like you've probably lost $100 in cash somehow throughout your life. Definitely. Probably more.
So, it's probably evened out. You got it this time. This is for all the money that you didn't realize dropped out of your pocket over the last 30 years.
Yes.
Think of it that way.
All right.